Hi, I'm Peter Vincer, CEO of Notorious and producer of Dumpster Fyre. Welcome to episode 2. We didn't expect for episode 2 to lay out exactly like this, but there's been an update. In fact, since the moment we dropped the trailer for Dumpster Fyre nearly 10 days ago, we lost contact with Billy McFarland. After some research and further conversation, we've come to find that he was immediately taken to solitary confinement, as was his cellmate, where they both remain. This appears to be a direct response to their participation in the Dumpster Fyre show, as well as some photos that were provided to us and taken by them, though that was all done perfectly legally. We fully intend on bringing you the show with the same distribution plan that we had before, which is new episodes weekly, first dropped on audio every Tuesday, and then a week later, you'll be able to find it under Dumpster Fyre Show on Facebook video, IGTV, and YouTube. Oh, and one more thing. We had been planning on bringing you a prison merchandise line later this season, but given the current circumstances, we thought it made most sense now. Outside of restitution, every single dollar that's earned will go directly towards prison reform causes, and we will be incredibly transparent about how much money is earned and paid out. You can find all that merchandise over at dumpsterfire.show. Hopefully you see something you like, because it's all for a good cause. We're bringing you 2 conversations today. The first is with one of Billy's closest friends at Elkton and someone that was with him at the time he was taken to solitary confinement. The second is with one of Billy's former closest friends at Elkton, who has recently been released from prison.
Charged for this call. This call is from an inmate at a federal prison.
Hello. Hey, what's up?
Peter? What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
Bro, you remember when I first got here, I told you I had came on the bus with Billy from Fire Festival. You know, me and him were in we got on the bus together and we came to Elkton together, and then he got moved up right next to me, so he was like literally like right over, couple spaces down from where I was at. You know, they were moving people around and whatnot, so me and him got really tight. Like that's a really good friend of mine. He's super cool, super down to earth, honest. You know what I mean? Real loyal dude. So me and him really started to bond, and he's a real good dude. But the crazy part is he was doing this podcast thing, I guess, and he was like on the phone recording a podcast, and he's just trying to work and do the right thing, and show people like he's an honest dude or whatever. And we're sitting in the cubes one day, and all of a sudden I just hear Billy McFarland over the intercom. Like when we're in school and like the principal might call your name, like so and so to the principal's office. Well, that's pretty much how it sounds. So they call Billy over the intercom, and he fucking pops up and he looks at me, and he speaks like really fast. You know what I mean? Like a super proper fast. So he looks at me. He's like, "Yo, do you know why they're calling me? Do you have any idea like why they be calling me?" And I'm like, "Billy, like, bro, we spoke about this because he was doing the podcast, and he asked me a couple days before they were like releasing the trailer. He's like, do you think that like I'll get in trouble for this? Like, should I tell the warden, or like should I ask permission beforehand or afterhand?" I was like, "Bro, you're gonna get in trouble. Like, I guarantee it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know." How much of a genuine, cool dude you are. I know how loyal you are, I know how honest you are. But, like, there's people, what I'm saying, that don't feel the same way. And, Elkton is dealing with so much, bullshit in terms of coronavirus, bad publicity and all that stuff. And, you're such a high profile that once they see that going viral and, people sharing it and whatnot, media is just going to start smacking the prison with, requests to hear from you, asking you, like, asking the warden, like, yo, is this sanctioned, that type of stuff, you know what I mean? So,
Can I ask, how long have you been at Elkton?
Me and Billy got here the same day, so probably about...
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, probably about a year and some change now.
Okay. So, why were you so sure that he was going to get in trouble?
I mean, I guess, deep down, I really didn't want it to happen, but, like, you know, I get those, like, gut feelings, and I'm just like, man, like, you know, if I was the warden, I wouldn't want that publicity either. You know, I'm already dealing with all this coronavirus bullshit, you know, plus, you know, everybody's trying to get compassionate release, and you know, the warden came out with a statement saying that he doesn't believe in compassionate release, so he's got a lot of bad press from that. And then to have Billy, you know, putting up a podcast talking explicitly about Elkton and, you know, his experience, and then, you know, going on and, you know, obviously, like, profiting off of the podcast, you know, the warden probably felt like, you know, I don't want to deal with this media-wise. I don't want anybody calling up and you know what I'm saying, like, actually just trying to get a comment from Billy or from me, or, you know what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's probably why, you know, he got in trouble. But prison is getting so much publicity, or could potentially get so much publicity. You know what I mean, like, when Billy was going, you know, getting transferred to Elkton, like, that was on the news. You know, and then I don't know if you remember, but you know, there was like a video that went viral. It was all over TMZ of somebody with a contraband cell phone in a prison, like, recording, like, you know, death tents and all this other stuff, and, you know, when the coronavirus hit. And that was at Elkton, so they had all this bad publicity already. So I think that compounded with the fact that Billy's such a high profile. I think that's what really set it off. I don't think if I called somebody and did a podcast and, you know what I'm saying, was speaking on it, I don't think it would have made that big of a difference. I just think, like I said, because
This call is from a federal prison.
I think just because Billy's such a high profile, I think that's why that happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, can you give me a little more detail about how it went down? So, you guys were hanging in, what'd you call it, the bunks?
Yeah, so we're just chilling in the cube. Me and Billy were speaking or whatever that one day, and I told him, like, yeah, I think you're gonna get in trouble. He's like, but why? Like, I follow the rules, and, you know what I mean? He kind of that's how he talks, like, real fast and, like, you know, really proper. And he's like, why? So, like, I follow all the rules. Yeah, I think I did it right, and, like, you know, I didn't talk shit about them or anything. It's just, you know, he's like, I'm not even making any profit off of it for real. Like, all the money's going straight to restitution, so I don't see how they could be upset. And I'm like, bro, like, I understand you're doing the right thing 100%, but at the end of the day, like, you know, like I just explained to you, Pete, like, you know, that's how the warden's going to look at it, you know, and if anybody else was the warden, that's, you know, they wouldn't want to deal with that either, so that's why I told Billy, and, you know, obviously we hope for the best, but once it happened, once they called him on the loudspeaker, I knew right then and there was no way around it. I said, yeah, man, you're going straight to the bucket, for real. And he's like, no way, like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, bro, like, you know, I'll pack out your shit, I'll make sure I hold whatever I can, and, you know, hopefully you get out, but, you know, from what I believe, I don't see him coming back to this compound specifically. I mean, I hope he does. You know, that's my dude. I fuck with Billy. He's cool as fuck. But I don't see it happening for real.
Damn. So, has that ever happened to you? Obviously, you've seen it happen.
No, I mean, I've gotten in trouble before, but not. You know, I've never been to the shoe here. No.
Can you give us a little, you know, any details that you're aware of what he could be dealing with, or what that process may have been like since you last saw him?
Yeah, I mean, right when he walks down, you know, right when he walks out, he goes straight to the lieutenant's office, and the lieutenant will tell him what he's there for, and then he walks right over to the shoe. You know, they strip him down, they put on the oranges, you know, like the jumpsuit or, you know, all that shit, and then they send him over to the hole, and
what do you mean by they put on the oranges? It's because you guys wear a different color normally, and then if you get thrown in solitary, then they make you wear orange instead, correct?
Yep, correct. So, like, you know, we could wear pretty much normal clothes. Like, you know, you could wear, like, Nike shoes, and, you know, Billy's got, like, a pair of Adidas, like, NMDs that he used to wear all the time, and, you know, gray sweatsuit, you know, regular shit, but they strip you of all that when you go to the hole. So you just wear, like, these baggy-ass, you know, orange jumpsuit type of deal, and, yeah, it sucks you don't have any property or anything in there, so, you know, the only way you kind of, like, get contact with the outside world is really through letters, and then you get a phone call once a month. But yeah, it definitely sucks in there. It's a really, really small living space. Then you actually do have a gate on your cell. You know, you're allowed out 1 hour a day for rec. Yeah, it's you know, it's cold in there in the winter. It's hot in there during the summer. There's a shower in the cell with you, and then there's a toilet in the cell with you. And so if you got a cellie, you know, he's gonna be shitting in front of you, pissing in front of you, taking a shower. You know what I mean? All that stuff. So definitely sucks in there. Not much to do. Thin mat. You know, the sheet is short as hell. Yeah, I mean, it's brutal. It's definitely brutal. But, yeah, I mean, Billy's a trooper.
Jesus.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, it's not his first rodeo. This is the second time it's happened to him, I think, yeah?
Yeah, he told me. He told me he got in trouble at the camp, too, man. It sucks. It sucks.
Wow. Well, I really am so thankful for you sharing all of this. Is there anything else that you think that we should know about Billy or about Elkton?
No, I mean, nothing too crazy. I just want, we got about a minute left. I just want people to know, Billy's a great fucking dude. He knows, whatever he did wrong, you know what I mean? He knows what he did, and he wants to, correct his wrongs and right his wrongs, which, I feel like that's what the prison system should be about is, fixing, your wrongs and moving forward and not being, blackballed for the rest of your life. And I think Billy, definitely deserves a second chance with whatever he wants to do in the future, and he's a super smart guy, and I think he's definitely succeed in his future endeavors. But listen, we got about 30 seconds left, so I just want to wrap it up, say bye.
For sure, man. It was really great hearing from you. I'm so thankful for you sharing what it's like there right now, and I hope I get to talk to you more often going forward. And now, here's the second conversation. What's up, JT?
What's going on?
So, I want to chat with you. First of all, I know that you are one of Billy's dearest friends and confidants, but you've also just been so integral in us developing this show and telling the story properly and keeping Billy in a proper mental state given, what it's like being in prison with Corona and everything else. So first I want to say thank you for being there, for Billy and helping us so much and being involved. This has been a real pleasure. But you, I think, also have some additional context to add to, what the situation's like currently at Elkton maybe and what Billy may be going through generally and especially now having been dragged back to solitary confinement for another prolonged period of time. So
Sure. First of all, thanks. I appreciate the compliments. There were several. Elkton is a unique prison within the district. So certain types of inmates end up at Elkton. So it's a place where it's fairly strict for a low security institution, and lots of people from other institutions such as Danbury, Connecticut, Fort Dix, end up being transferred to Elkton for disciplinary reasons. It's viewed among inmates as a disciplinary low security prison. So it's no surprise that Billy was transferred there as a result of having a thumb drive or a USB flash drive. The good part about Elkton is it's a fairly safe prison. There aren't that many beatings. There aren't that many rapings. There aren't that many stabbings. Things certainly do go on that you don't want to be a part of, but it's fairly safe compared to a number of other institutions where violence and corruption is much more prevalent.
yeah, gosh, you said so many things there that just as someone that's not spent any time in prison, it's crazy to hear you say just the way that you think about it, and how you frame it as a former prisoner, like just not that many rapes, beatings, and whatever else, but still plenty goes on. So you've been at Elkton, and you've been there with Billy. You've spent time with Billy. What's some additional context you think is necessary for people to understand what it's like specifically for Billy? Anything else that's maybe unfair or worth discussing or highlighting?
Well, absolutely. And the question you've asked has so many answers. I think that we wouldn't have enough time in the next week to touch them all. First of all, I ended up at Elkton the same way most people do, a 90-day stint in the SHU, or Special Housing Unit. this is how the process begins. You're called to the lieutenant's office. The lieutenant is a guy that interacts directly with inmates and is responsible for running the staff that monitors us full time and manages the goings on in the various units and recreational areas. So you're called to the lieutenant's office. You're immediately put in handcuffs behind your back, and you're walked over to the SHU, which stands for Special Housing Unit. The lieutenant works hand in hand with the SIS department, which stands for Special Investigative Services. The SIS investigates inmate on inmate crime, inmate on staff crime, and staff on staff crime if that happens. The SIS is a division of the BOP, so there's an inherent conflict of interest there, obviously, but we can get into that later. So you're handcuffed and you're brought to the Special Housing Unit, or SHU. Once you're there, you are stripped out and strip searched again. You're put in a very, very small cell until they're ready to deliver you to your permanent cell. What they put you into is about 3 feet by 3 feet, and they lock you in there for anywhere from 30 minutes to 4 or 5 hours. From there, the cuffs are taken off and you stand in this 3 foot by 3 foot steel cube. When they're ready to deliver you to your cell where you'll be residing until they release you, you're put back in handcuffs behind your back, and you're taken to your cell. You're put in your cell, and you're given, an orange jumpsuit, orange slippers, orange socks, orange underwear, and an orange T-shirt. And you're put in your cell. From there, I think these days you're allowed out 3 times a week. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 1 hour for recreation. Other than that, you do not leave that cell ever unless there is maybe a medical emergency, you have a legal call, a lawyer is calling on your behalf. You live there. So, the problem with living in the SHU is the boredom and the tricks your mind plays on you. You have no contact. I'll tell you, the boredom is it's hell. The SHU is just an incredibly effective and brutal form of psychological abuse. Billy was really my closest relationship in jail. So, it changed my life forever, but I have to tell you, in hindsight, it was an incredibly valuable experience. And I think Billy believes that too. I think it's one of the things that he kind of understood.
I hope you enjoyed episode 2 of Dumpster Fyre. I apologize for bringing you episode 2 a little late, but as you can imagine, it's quite difficult to wrangle conversations with prisoners, especially given the current situation both at Elkton and the world with COVID. We intend on bringing you all future episodes regularly every Tuesday, with the video version following 1 week later. Thanks again. Goodbye.